What's up, guys? This is Groundhog Jimenez coming out of Mastermind Bulls in Florida. So yeah, man, it's my first video. Just want to go ahead and document my little journey here. New to the breeding game, new to the bully game, experienced businessman. But yeah, I came across these American bullies by accident. And then ended up falling in love, just digging deep in my research, digging deep in the study. Researching all the traits, genotype, phenotype, progesterone test, reverse progesterone test, looking at the different stud feeds, looking at how the pup back deals work, looking at how the breeding works, looking at how the whelping works, looking at the different sizes, the different classes, nano, micro, pocket, standard, XL, double XLs, extreme, just going super deep into this game. I'm new, still learning. At this point, I just need some good old experience. But yeah, I really enjoy the learning process. I'm actually a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I own a mixed martial arts school. So this is right up my alley, learning, committing to something. So yeah, I just started a new program. I'm going to be specializing in pocket bullies. Yeah, man, just want to document my little journey here. So I'll tell you the story how I came across it by accident. So, I have a toddler, 2.5-year-old son, about to be 3. Me and my wife, we go to one of our students' houses. One of my students' houses, ex-champion, 3 times champion, MMA fighter, cauliflower, all the whole deal. And I had one dog in my whole life. I had a Neapolitan Mastiff when I was younger. Didn't really know much about him. Never even took him to the vet. I didn't even know you had to take him to the vet. You know what I'm saying? Like my new pups, man, I'm trying to go above and beyond to take great care of them. I got 3 right now. So I was real young at the time, 19, 20 when I had this Neapolitan Mastiff. He ended up living 8 years, which is kind of on the average side, I guess, for the bigger dogs. But fast forward to now. So I go to one of my students' houses. He has a pit bull and a Jack Russell Terrier. So like I said, my lack of knowledge, I always thought pit bulls were just like American bullies. I was thinking. So when I seen his pit bull, I'm like, hey, what kind of dog is this? He goes, oh, it's a pit bull. I'm like, oh man, he's kind of skinny. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm thinking. I'm like, he's kind of skinny, and then he's like, yeah, nice. She's full grown. It was a female. She's full grown. And I'm like, okay, cool. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, that's a real skinny pit bull. I guess I was confused, like a big portion of the population thinking that all pit bulls are pretty much American bullies, super thick, muscular. So anyway, my son, he ends up falling in love with the 2 dogs. He's just playing and giggling and laughing. And I'm like, you got me. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get my son some dogs. So, one dog. And then it turned into 2 because I was like, you know what? I want the little puppy to not be alone. I want him to have a little friend. I don't want him crying and feeling sad. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get 2. Let me get 2 French bulldogs. This was my plan. Not to breed, not nothing. I didn't even want a female. I was like, let me get 2 males because I don't want to deal with the period. Let me just get 2 males and French bulldogs, and then call it a day. So my wife ends up saying, no, we want a guard dog. I want a guard dog, this and that. So I was just like, yeah, get a French bulldog, but let's at least get 1 guard dog. I'm like, man, little French bulldogs like little torpedoes, they could handle a little something. But anyway, so we end up getting another puppy. So in my research of looking for this other guard dog, I keep on seeing these American bullies. And I'm like, man, what is this American bully? I'm like, what is it? And I know they're thick. I'm like, hey, can I see, asking all the normal questions. Can I see the mom? Not even, no, let me slow down. I wasn't asking all the normal questions. I was asking a few questions saying, hey, can I see the mom and the dad? And I see the mom and the dad. And one of them, I'm not sure if it was the first one or not I came across, but the mom was an XL and the pops was a standard. And he was just jacked. And super jacked up, and I was like, man, and then I started thinking, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get one of these. Then I'm like, man, I don't know. I started doing some research. I'm like, man, I don't know anything about dog training or anything like this. So I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to get this, big old dog like this. And then I'm thinking, just like I said, I'm inexperienced. So I'm thinking, man, in the case I have to whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking that, okay, when he tries to get dominant, I'm not thinking about training the dog at all. I had a Neo Mastiff wasn't trained, was a backyard dog. He would like kill possums and just, he was wild backyard dog, super hyper aggressive, never socialized him. And like I said, I was young. I was like 19, 20 years old. So I didn't even know anything about the breed of Neapolitan Mastiffs. Anyway, I loved him to death. That was my only dog, so I loved him to death. But it's like I didn't have a chance to really like train him or socialize him or give him the best life that he could have. Which I want to do that for these puppies I have now. So with that being said, I was like, man, I don't know. So I started second guessing the American Bully. Then I started seeing there was different classes. I'm like, hold on, they have micros, they have nanos, they have pockets, they got standards. So we ended up getting a French Bulldog, a male, and then another standard bully, which was half pit bull. So I was like, okay, cool, all right. But it was before this whole breeding thing. I wasn't even thinking about breeding or producing. So I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and get these. We got them. We got the little guard dog. So I started digging deeper. Now I'm like intrigued. So I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, let me just do a little bit more research. Then I started seeing the pocket bullies. I'm like, all right. They're like little big dogs. Like they're not huge, but then they're not small. So I was like, then I ended up buying so I have them two now, two males. I'm like, man, if I'm going to start this, I need to start now. So then I bought a micro bully, a female micro bully, which ends up turning out to be a pocket because she's in this video. She ends up being a little taller. So she's at like 13 inches now, where she's a little on the taller side. So that's right at the female standard of pocket. So I can't really consider her a micro. So I'm going, I'm going through that, and then so now I have 3 dogs. I have my micro female, which was 5 months at the time, and then I had a male French Bulldog, and then he was 3 months at the time, I believe. And then I had the half standard American Bully and half pit bull, he was young. We got him at like 6 weeks, so he had to be like 7 weeks, almost 2 months at the time. So now I'm doing more research, looking at all this stuff, and then now I started thinking about breeding. And I'm like, okay. I was like, yeah. Then I'm thinking I'm going to do something new. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something new. I'm going to go ahead and create this half French Bulldog, half micro bully, and think I was, what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, yeah, let me do this designer dog I'm looking at. And I'm just like, I don't know. Then the more I'm trying to convince myself it's going to be cool, the more research I was doing, it was like, nah, I really don't want to go down that route. I'm not really looking to go down that route. I was like, man, I really like these pocket bullies. Like, this is the style that I kind of like. If I'm looking at any other dogs, like, this is the style that I like with this pocket bully. So I ended up rehoming the French Bulldog. Now I have, my micro female and then the standard bully. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. And then he's half pit bull. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring pit bull back in the game. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bring pit bull back in the game and, into this, the original, it was American Pit Bull Terrier and Staffordshire Terrier. And, the whole beginning of, it's supposed to be a pit bull on steroids. And so I was thinking going down that route. And I'm like, yeah, this is what's up. And then eventually what happened was I was like, nah. I started digging deeper. I'm like, nah, man, I want to do it right. I want to do it right. And the half American Bully standard. His dad was a beast, and then the mom was a red-nosed pit bull. And he was a great dog. So what I did was I ended up rehoming him before it got too late. Oh, so in between that time, I had bought a tri-chocolate Merle female pocket bully, just straight pocket bully. The dad, his name was Ghost Boy. The mom's name was Soy Sauce, the queen. So there were straight pockets. The mom was a Merle. And then the dad was like I believe like a lilac or I got to go double check again. He was like a lighter shade of like, I don't know. But so stocky, they look good, real good, solid pockets. So now I have the standard pit. I have the micro, which is super tall, and then I have, for a micro, then I have a solid pocket, chocolate Merle female. So I'm like, all right, hey, capo nobody. No. Capo nobody. So anyway, so then I have that, I have them. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to breed the standard. And I'm like, nah, let me go ahead and rehome him. Let me start. Because I'm listing all these other breeders. I'm listing all these other guys. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I want to do it right. I want to start on the right foot. I don't want to, have to backtrack and start like in 1999 again. I'm a student of Think and Grow Rich, where they say study the most successful people in the world and do what they do, and then go ahead and, put your own little twist on it, but study them and try, you don't have to really reinvent the wheel. Just, look at what they do, check out what's successful, and, go from there. So I ended up going ahead and rehoming, his name was Shadow, rehoming Shadow, which was half standard bully. Dad was solid blue, nice structure, standard, and rehoming him. So now I have 2 females. I'm like, all right, I'm going to stud them out. You know what I'm saying? So I have the 2. They're both ABR registered. Then eventually I'm like, hold on, I need to go to the next level of the ABKC. So that's later on in my story here. So now I have the 2 ABR registered females, one chocolate and one chocolate Merle, and then, my blue micro, which is really ends up becoming a pocket because she's tall. They're still all puppies. So she's still growing, which I don't think she's going to get any taller, but she's at like 13 inches at the withers. So, I mean, she's just at the height for a female pocket. So anyway, so I now have 2 females, and I am like, okay, I'm just going to raise them, and I'm going to go ahead and, give them a good life and go ahead and stud them out, find studs and then go. So now I'm doing research. Now, not only am I doing research, but I'm starting to get in contact with old friends of mine that are actually breeders at the moment. And 2 of them are, matter of fact, they're both females. So 2 female friends of mine, they're breeders. So I'm asking them questions like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Like, how do you go about this? How do you go about that? Talking about like, I got my whole little list of like incubators and, whelping kits and like all these different things that I'm asking about. And they're giving me like the professional answers. And then they're like, all right, some of this stuff is like, you don't really need. So I'm thinking in my mind, not even thinking, my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go super professional with it. I want to go high level with it. So I want to get all the stuff that I need, to make them have the best, life they possibly can when it comes to producing, so I can produce in a happy environment. So I'm researching and learning that even the highest level of breeders are losing pups here and there, which sucks. So I'm gonna have to get used to that. Hopefully I don't run into that, but I mean, this is life. It's probably gonna happen. I hope not though. So there's this one other cat I watched, man. He actually saved one of the puppy's lives. A little pup was passing away on the way home, and he's saved it, pumping the heart, rubbing it. So I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, this guy's that's cool, because I was watching another one. I know I'm jumping all over the place. I'm watching another one, and Buddy's like, what makes a great breeder? It was after I watched this guy's video when he saved the pup. So the other guy's talking about, which the other guy's cool too, because I was, like I said, I'm researching all these different breeders. Like they look high level at the moment. So I mean, they are high level. I can't say that because they're all pretty successful. So Buddy's saying, what makes a great breeder, and he's giving his list of what makes a great breeder. And then I had just watched a video of the guy that saved a life, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, that's got to be one of the traits right there. To be able to save a puppy's life on the way home, one-handed. Like the dude was he had that phone in one hand and the pup in the other, and he saved the puppy's life. Got home, put the puppy on oxygen. For him to bring the puppy back, I think that's a great breeder. That's something that I want to go down that route too, where I just don't want to pump out puppies and sell them. I own a business at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I own a mixed martial arts gym. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Actually about to get my 3rd degree in December, so meaning I've been a black belt for 9 years. Every 3 years we get a stripe. Anyway, this isn't about jiu-jitsu. That's something that I was inspired by, and that I kind of want to, I want to go down that route as well, being able to save these puppies' lives if need be, which is probably going to arise. This is something very important for me. I just don't want them to pass away and be like, okay, another one bites the dust and then go. So that's something that's very important for me also. So I kind of got off track here, but so yeah. So now I have 2 females. I'm thinking about studying them out. I'm doing research. I talked to a friend of mine. We used to call her Pork Chop. Talking to Pork Chop, and she's like, yeah, I'm telling her my idea about I'm just gonna stud them out. It's easier that way, and I can go ahead and just keep the females, and I don't really have to take care of the male, the whole thing. Even though money's not an issue for me, but I don't have to take care of the male. It's all good. She's like, nah, yeah. She's like, yeah, but sometimes it's kind of a pain in the butt. Sometimes it's kind of a pain in the butt to have to. Here, Capo, let's go, buddy. Outside. Come here. This boy's about to poop. Let's go. Go outside, buddy. There you go. Good boy. There you go. Good boy. Poop out there. So that's the new one I have now, where I'm training him. You know what I'm saying? He's, as you probably just heard, I had to whatever, take a little smoke break to tell him to go outside to go poop. But anyway, so now I have the 2 females, and hold on. Hey, Mia, come on, girls. Let's go. Let's go outside. Mia, sunshine, come here, girl. Let's go. Come on. Come on, Mia. Come here, girls. Good boy, Capo. Good boy. Good boy, Capo. There you go. All right, I'm back. So where did I leave off at? It was now I have 2 females. I have the blue micro, aka Pocket. She's 13 inches at this point. It was weird because her parents were a little bit short, and then she's on the taller side. Now I have this chocolate merle female, and she was 4 months when I bought her. So now she's 6 months, and Mia Tortilla is 9 months at this time. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about I'm going to go ahead and just stud them out. I'm going to go ahead and, pay this stud fee. I started making some connections. Found this one dude, all he wanted to do is have a pup back. He's like, man, it's either pay $1,000 or pup back. And I found some other ones with some stud fees. I'm like, all right, cool, that's the play. That's where it's going to go. I like that. So what ends up happening is I talked to one of my homegirl pork chop, and she ended up planting a seed in my mind where she was like, yeah, it's good. She's like, but sometimes, it's a pain in the butt to deal with them. And then sometimes, if they don't show up on time, or sometimes, the dog doesn't take, your puppy doesn't, your female doesn't take. Now you just wasted the money. And then sometimes they'll give a repeat. Sometimes they won't. So this whole thing, so all these sometimes, I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Now I'm questioning because, I'm new to the game too at the same time. So now I'm questioning at this point. I'm like, man, should I, or should I just go ahead and invest in a male? But now I'm thinking, the more I research, the more I want like a super quality male. Now I want, not that my females ain't quality. They're very nice. They're very good girls. I love them. They're ABR registered. I want to be at a higher level with the ABKC. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and invest a little bit more into, if I'm going to invest in this male. So I started doing some research, looking around. A bunch of scammers on these Facebook bully groups. I ran into a bunch of scammers talking about like deposits and this and that. I'm like, yeah, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? Their English starts getting thrown off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they're talking, you can almost tell they're talking through Google Translate. And then so ran into this one dude, make a long story short, because I can sit here for probably hours talking about the scammers and all this different stuff. So I run to this one dude, and he has this solid blue Pocket. He has some females too, but now I'm looking for a male. It's super solid with, pedigree. Great-great-grandfather's grand champion Rockomania. Great-grandfather is Rockefeller Grim champion. Grandfather is champion 30B Stilo Brim. Father is Crim. They call him Crim de la Crim. No, he never got champed out or anything like that, but super solid structure. When I went to go pick up the pup, like I call him name Capo Slim. I'm kind of keep the, the M's, the double M, the Grim and the Crim and the Brim. So I call him Capo Slim. When I went to pick him up, the pops came out. He was like a little gorilla, really exactly the structure I'm looking for. So he's ABKC registered, solid pedigree, solid structure himself, got blue eyes. I mean, he's in the video. You can see him. He's only 3 months old, so he's small right now. He's actually looks smaller in the video than he really is in person. Maybe because the lens I have on the phone is the further one, so it makes people, makes things look a little slimmer. But anyway, super solid structure, real nice, super solid pedigree, ABKC registered. I plan to, take him to the shows. I plan to, do a lot of things with him, you know what I'm saying, in this game, along with give him a happy life with my other girls. So now I have a male on my yard, inside my program now. It's going to be my main stud to my females, and either I'm going to go down that route, having the puppies and then keeping a female, or eventually invest into a ABKC female so that I could have my litter is just purely ABKC registered. At this point, it's going to have to be, he's ABKC registered, but at this point, they're going to have to be ABR registered, which isn't super bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad at all. I don't know why I'm talking like that. But, in the bully world, the more that I learn, the ABKC is the highest level of the bully registries. So with that being said, that'll do it for day one. I'll probably be back soon with some more content, just documenting my new little journeyman into this bully game. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Just solid integrity, and helping people out. I'm not really looking to do a lot of different things, you know. But I'll save that for another video. But all right, man, it was a good one. All right, peace.